Today we are going to study the last tradition of the St. Thomas tradition, the Mylapore tradition. This tradition is treated as a separate one by some historians and not as part of the Malabar tradition. But some historians considered this as the second part of the Malabar tradition. Malabar tradition mainly deals with St. Thomas coming to India by sea route and establishing the churches and its evidences. But Mylapore tradition is basically talking about the last days of Apostle Thomas in India. But some historians consider this as separate from the Malabar tradition. And the Mylapore tradition is also known as Coromandel tradition. The Mylapore tradition is also known as the Coromandel tradition. So when we hear Coromandel tradition, we need to know it is talking about the last part of Apostle Thomas' life in India. According to this tradition, St. Thomas, after his fruitful ministry in the Malabar coast, crossed over to the eastern coast and preached the gospel there. So he came to the east coast of India, the Coromandel coast of India, and he preached the gospel there. As in Malabar, he had converts, especially from the higher caste, even in Mylapore. But being infuriated by his success, his antagonists made attempts to kill him. And once, when he was chased by them, he took shelter in a cave near the little mound, and when he was about to be captured, he escaped from that place through a hole in the roof of the cave and took shelter in the shrine he had built at the top of the St. Thomas Mount. His pursuers caught up with him there and speared him to death while he was clinging onto a stone cross inside the shrine. Later, his disciples or his followers came and took his slain body away and buried him on the seashore in Santom, Mylapore. And the year of his martyrdom is said to have been about 72 AD. Sources for Mylapore tradition. Apart from the sources and evidences of Malabar tradition, the advocates of Mylapore tradition points out as evidence a palm print or a footprint on the rock inside the cave at the Little Mount, and a stone cross, it's a Persian cross, at St. Thomas Mount, and a tomb in the Santom Cathedral, Mylapore. It is to be noted that all these three places are in the hands of the Roman Catholic Church in India. And we need to know the Roman Catholic Church in India started only after the Portuguese arrival in India. So before that, these places were not under the Roman Catholic Church in India. So these are the evidences. One is a footprint of St. Thomas on the rock inside the cave and even outside the cave also, near to the Little Mount, and the stone cross at St. Thomas Mount, and the tomb in the Santom Cathedral, Mylapore. These are the evidences for the Mylapore tradition or Coromandel tradition. This is the stone cross inside the church at St. Thomas Mount. And this is one of the footprints of St. Thomas in the Little Mount. And this is the cave in the Little Mount. And this is the tomb of St. Thomas in the Santom Basilica. And this is the Santom Church. Issues in Mylapore tradition. there are several problems to rely on this tradition. In 1523, the Portuguese opened the so called tomb of St. Thomas and found in it a vessel containing red sand, fragments of a skull, and a few bones, and an iron head of lance. You can see that inside this, and here you can see the bones and all excavated from that place. And the direction in which the tomb is laid is not in the usual Christian way. So there is doubt whether it would be that of St. Thomas. It may be the tomb of somebody else. And the cross in the church on St. Thomas Mount is said to be the one on which St. Thomas hugged when his enemies pursued him with the intention of killing him. And a red spot almost in the middle of the cross is said to be the blood stains of St. Thomas. But the cross depicts Persian culture, and the date which experts predict is 7th century. So we need to know the cross that believed as St. Thomas erected, when the experts try to predict the date, they predicted it as 7th century cross through carbon dating, and it depicts Persian culture. It's a Persian cross, and the Persian style of cross introduced in India only after 5th or 6th century. It was not there in the 1st century. And moreover, cross was not an object of veneration in the 1st century AD. So how can we say that cross was erected by St. Thomas? Thank you.